All right, everyone, it's time we get a driving impression on the entry-level version of the Toyota RAV4. This is the LE model, all-wheel drive, and we are going to do an interior impression here in terms of overall finishing, overall versatility, size, comfort, and we're going to do a test drive impression as well, being that this is the entry-level model for the Toyota RAV4. Does it really drive and feel any different when you're in the driver's seat when compared to models like the limited grade or like the XLE grade and so on? Definitely the hybrid equivalent of a Toyota RAV4 will drive and feel much different than the non-hybrid. And yes, this is the non-hybrid version of the Toyota RAV4. But we're gonna hop in and first start off with some specifications in terms of sizing and comfort and powertrain underneath the hood, and then we'll get on to a test drive impression. So in case you didn't know, whether it's the LE grade RAV4 or the limited grade, they all measure in with the same or very similar specifications in terms of sizing. The RAV4 LE measures in at 181 inches in length and 67 inches high. You get around 69.8 cubic feet of front seat space for your driver and passenger, and you also have around 39 inches of headroom in the front of your Toyota RAV4. And for your backseat passengers, you actually get around 40 inches of rear headroom for your back passengers. And in terms of cargo and trunk space, there's around 37.4 cubic feet of rear cargo area space behind the back row, which, yes, is a 60-40 split configuration. In terms of things like ground clearance throughout the vehicle, you've got about 8.3 inches of ground clearance from the bottom of the floor bed to the actual floor itself. Now, you can get models with a higher towing capacity for the Toyota RAV4 in 2025, but this model here is capable of towing up to 1,499 pound towing capacity. All 2025 Toyota RAV4 models come with Toyota Safety Sense 2.5 power adjustable side heated mirrors with blind spot monitoring system and the rear cross traffic alert technology. So when you have the gear positioned into reverse and you are about to reverse or reversing and the vehicle senses a pedestrian or another vehicle coming in behind your SUV, it will beep to alert you to slow down or stop and check your surroundings. In terms of specifications under the hood, you get a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder non-hybrid powertrain system with this Toyota RAV4 LE and any non-hybrid Toyota RAV4 for 2025. It puts out 203 horsepower with 184 pound-foot of torque, and it's hooked up to a direct shift 8-speed automatic transmission. Now, in terms of fuel economy and capacity, it's hooked up to a 55-liter gas tank, takes regular unleaded fuel, and you can average probably around 7.9 liters per 100 combined city and highway fuel economy, which translates to around 36 miles per gallon. For all late model and 2025 Toyota RAV4s, they will also come standard with the carpeted mats and the rubber all-weather floor mats, but for this specific video, we've made a nice upgrade to the rubber floor mats. Let me show you what I'm talking about. That's right, check out these super upgraded all-weather rubber floor mats sent to me from Lasfit. They are super superior from your OEM mats that come from the factory. These ones here have higher edges, offering superior protection, especially over the second row hump in the back seats. And to ensure a superior fit for all your vehicle interiors, edges, and details, these mats are cut using a 3D laser scanning technology to make sure it fits your car's interior perfectly. And they're also made with a TPE material, making these mats free from any harmful substances or odors. These all-weather rubber floor mats from Lasfit cover a larger area than your OEM mats and have higher edges, offering superior protection in the interior. Now, if you want an over-the-top set of all-weather floor mats like these ones from Lasfit, check out the link in the description below, whether it's for your Toyota RAV4 or another Toyota vehicle. Above and beyond these mats not having any harmful or strong odors or being made from harmful substances, another thing I can appreciate about these mats from Lasfit is the packaging detail and the compactness of the box that these mats come in. So this is a three-piece mat set. So 2 in the front and 1 large one in the rear, covering both your rear passenger and the middle passenger over that center hump. And you wouldn't think that all these mats were in here. Usually when you order mats that are aftermarket, they come in a massive box, but these ones actually come with their own handle, kind of like a suitcase. This is really cool stuff from Lasfit. Now it's naturally aspirated. There's no turbochargers or anything underneath the hood of this RAV4 for 2025. Let's see what happens for 2026. Hopefully we hear some news from Toyota soon about a possible redesign for 2026. And who knows what will happen with the powertrain system under the hood. Let me know what you think will happen or what you want to see happen in the comment section below. Now, how does this powertrain system setup feel and drive when you're in the driver's seat? I'm gonna hop in a second and give you my driving impressions. One thing that's really cool and neat that you maybe don't realize as a consumer or customer is this padded shield here actually does absorb a lot of the noise and sound from the engine compartment, which really helps when you're inside the cabin of this vehicle. So let's hop in and see how it drives. Time to hop in, get settled in. I am 6'2". If anybody wants to know, and why I'm telling you my height is because I'm a pretty tall, big guy. And in this Toyota RAV4, there's no moonroof. It's an LE grade, but I've got plenty of space, plenty of headroom here, plenty of shoulder room, plenty of leg room. Just have to adjust my seatbelt height and get things going here in terms of seating position. If you want the power driver seat, you're gonna have to go up to the XLE grade. If you want just the regular standard, adjustable driver seat, then the LE grade would do for you. So let's take this one on a drive. I don't have any mic attached right now. I'm microphone free because I want you to really hear and experience the driving here and the sound and the way it feels, and the mic would kind of muffle anything and make everything really clear and crisp. So let's get a full reaction and driving experience here on this Toyota RAV4 LE all-wheel drive non-hybrid model. As I'm gonna drive, I'll talk to you guys a little bit about my take on hybrid versus non-hybrid. So guys, I think that when Toyota redesigns the Toyota RAV4, hopefully for 2026, that it's gonna be hybrid only. Nothing's been confirmed or said, but I really think it's gonna be hybrid only, like the Camry, like the Toyota Sienna, like the Venza was. So that's a good thing, in my opinion. I think electrification is the future. I think fuel economy, everybody wants fuel economy. The average price gap between a non-hybrid Toyota RAV4 and a hybrid is generally around $3,000, give or take. So to me, it's a great alternative and it's a great value proposition to spend that difference and get yourself into a hybrid Toyota vehicle, save some money on fuel, save some money on, possible maintenance down the road, because hybrids are known to wear and tear less than a non-hybrid. But let's talk about this driving experience here. All right, so I've actually pulled over here because I want to give you my takeoff impressions. Again, 203 horsepower and just over 180 pound-foot of torque. This is gonna go back to my hybrid conversation, and that's with regards to the torque and maybe even the horsepower. Regardless of the horsepower and torque rating in a non-hybrid Toyota RAV4 versus a hybrid, you feel a lot more of the torque and responsiveness on the throttle and on the acceleration when you're in the hybrid equivalent. And that's mainly due to all the electrical components like the electrical motors and so on, because you get all the available torque and pickup and acceleration instantly. You don't have to wait for anything mechanically to take place. So let me give you my takeoff driving impressions here. Put my signal on, always want to be safe. So yeah, I mean, there's no problem with this powertrain system at all. But if you've ever driven a hybrid Toyota RAV4 or a hybrid Toyota vehicle and you drive a non-hybrid, you'll know what I'm talking about. There is a gradual approach to acceleration, torque, and pickup. You know, it's not instant. And I gotta say, it's a bit more on the smoother side when you're talking about the hybrid version of the Toyota RAV4. I'm also going to test out the turning radius. In terms of dimensions, the Toyota RAV4 has a ground clearance, as I mentioned, 8.3, and has an overall length of around 181 inches. Let's see how the turning radius is here on the Toyota RAV4. If I can make it in one shot. No, I cannot. I got to reverse. And not bad. Definitely, you know, the turning radius for this size of a SUV is to be expected. It's definitely not a problem. Just, you know, be careful when you're in tight spots or when you're in narrow roads and you've got to make a U-turn. You might have to adjust at least once. I don't think you'd be able to clear it and make it in one shot, but that's neither here nor there. That's just my outtake on this and on this topic. Let's go over to a higher speed and see how the actual vehicle responds and how it sounds. Right now, I've been averaging around 35 to 45 kilometers an hour. We'll take it up closer to 80 kilometers an hour and maybe even catch it on the highway. And let's see how the actual responsiveness and the smoothness of this entry-level Toyota RAV4 is. And I'm also going to want you to hear the acceleration. To me, it's perfectly fine, but again, the hybrid versions, they are a bit more on the quieter side. Let's take a listen. All right, so we're going to go ahead and take off here. No issues with me or concerns when it comes to the engine noise. I think this sounds very quiet inside the cabin. Now, the Toyota RAV4 that I know of doesn't have acoustic glass or anything like that, or active noise control. But I've got to say, you almost don't need it. The RAV4 interior is quite quiet and you can hold a conversation quite easily. As you can see, I'm not shouting or yelling or anything, and I'm going almost 80 kilometers an hour. And I don't have to raise my voice to get the message across to you guys, which means there's not much noise inside the cabin of this entry grade Toyota RAV4 LE. All right, this is the real test in my opinion. We're about to approach the highway. I'm gonna take it on the on-ramp, on the off-ramp, and give you my driving impressions once we get closer to that like 100 kilometer an hour driving mark. Let's see how it works. You know, you actually get to the speed that you want to achieve quite effortlessly on this four-cylinder Toyota RAV4 2.5 liter, which is a good thing. It means that, you know, the powertrain system isn't really under any stress, and it's able to achieve the desired speed without any issues or holdback. All right, everyone, I'm pretty much cruising at 100 kilometers an hour, and you know, for any doubters out there on the four-cylinder platforms or powertrain systems, or for anyone concerned that maybe a RAV4 isn't really enough in terms of, you know, your daily driving commute, or, you know, power and acceleration. Guys, I didn't have to press the gas pedal down hard at all to achieve and blend into this highway speed, which, you know, the average driver is driving around 110, 120 kilometers an hour here. I'm just over 100 kilometers an hour, and it's a great experience. In terms of road noise, I mean, you tell me. I'm gonna go ahead and accelerate to pass, and you can see what I'm talking about here. Still very quiet. Still a very enjoyable drive. And I did accelerate quite a bit there, more than I wanted to, but it's a great driving experience, guys. The Toyota RAV4 LE definitely gets the job done in terms of acceleration and your daily commute. Now, if you want something with a bit more peppiness, power, torque, you can always go for the RAV4 plug-in hybrid. That has just over 300 horsepower and is very, very quick. One of the fastest RAV4s ever built, actually. So if you want something that's better than this in terms of acceleration, but you really want to stick to a RAV, try the hybrid or try the plug-in hybrid. That one is super fast. But overall, I am very pleased with the drive of this Toyota RAV4 LE. Again, lots of comfort inside. It's very spacious. I can put my arms up. I don't have to duck. Again, I'm 6'2". I could move around and, you know, check my blind spots very freely. And there's plenty of space for front passengers, plenty of space for rear passengers, plenty of space for cargo. So it's your great all-around compact all-wheel drive SUV, which is, you know, one of the reasons why RAV4 is so hot in any trim and model configuration. Now, in terms of fit and finish, for the most part, the interior on these Toyota RAV4s is quite similar, whether you're going with the LE, XLE, or limited model. Yes, when you get higher up to those higher packaged trims like the limited, you'll get a larger multi-information display system. And in terms of interior finishes, you might see some more detailing on things like the door panels as well as the seats. However, the interior door panel on this LE grade does have a Softex-like finish over here on the armrest part. And you'll also notice things like different features. For example, you will have a wireless phone charger here on your higher trim packages like the limited and so on. But what's really cool and neat is that all Toyota RAV4s, whether it's the LE or up, get this multi-terrain select, which is really cool. You have a bunch of different driving modes and driving features here, from eco to normal to mud and sand, rock and dirt, sport, and your snow for that added traction. Now, you might think, well, sport mode, does it really feel any different? Well, I'll show you guys. When you toggle through here and go over to your eco, mud and sand, and then into your sport mode, you can see that it's highlighted in red. Now let's take a look and feel as for driving impression to see if there's actually any difference with things like acceleration and the way the vehicle performs in the sport mode. All right, so right now I am in the mode where you probably feel the least amount of power and acceleration, and that is eco mode, because, well, the Powertrain system is trying to conserve energy and trying to actually maximize fuel efficiency. But I'm going to go ahead now and kick it over to normal. So we are now in normal mode, and I am taking off. Perfect acceleration, very gradual, quite responsive in my opinion for an entry-level 4-cylinder Toyota RAV4 model. But I'm going to go ahead now and kick it into sport mode. Now, I don't want to do that on the fly. I'm going to actually pull over here and get this lovely all-wheel drive SUV into sport mode. And let's see if I can notice any difference on acceleration. All right, time to go into sport mode. The odometer is now red, which means sport mode is activated. Let's take a look and see if there is any difference in terms of the acceleration or how good this RAV4 responds. Whoa. I spun the wheels unintentionally a little bit there. Yes, sport mode, for those of you who are wondering, actually does something to the acceleration of this Toyota RAV4 LE. I feel like it kind of widens out the power band for, you know, typically the way it works with combustion engines is there's a power band of RPMs where you are able to feel the most amount of horsepower, all that 203 horsepower that the Toyota RAV4 LE gives you. I feel like when you go into sport mode, it kind of opens up that parameter of power band and makes the full amount of horsepower and torque much more easily achievable in the sport mode. And myself, if I owned a RAV4 LE, I'd probably leave it in sport mode. Just if you want to measure and track your fuel efficiency, because I'd have to imagine you'd get slightly worse fuel economy left in sport mode. Well, with a Canadian MSRP of $33,685 plus your destination transportation fees and taxes, is the LE grade Toyota RAV4 enough for you? I think I've proven to you that sizing is quite similar and versatile and enough to get the job done in a Toyota RAV4 in terms of driving impressions, feel, and overall responsiveness. I was very pleased being the driver of this Toyota RAV4 LE. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed this video, topic, and review. And again, guys, for the best aftermarket all-weather rubber floor mats that cover a lot of area of your interior, check out the link in the description to check out Lasfit. We'll catch you on the next video, guys. Take care.